I bought my dad the two-stroke of his dreams. And in this video, which is just in time for Christmas, I've planned an epic reveal to surprise my dad with the one bike that he's always wanted but has never been able to own until now. But before I drop the bombshell on the old man, let me introduce you to this very special machine and allow me to tell you why this bike means so much to my dad. My moto story is a tale almost as old as dirt biking itself, and it will be a familiar story for thousands of dirt bikers around the world. The reason I ride, the reason I live and breathe motorbikes, even the reason I'm talking to you guys right now is all down to my dad. His passion, enthusiasm and love for bikes is something that's been passed down from generation to generation. My granddad gave it to him and he in turn passed it to my brother and I. Biking is in our blood, and if it wasn't for the influence of our forefathers before us, I know I certainly wouldn't have had the opportunity to experience the joy and the thrill that is riding motorcycles. And I think this could be true for the majority of bikers around the world. It's something that transcends borders, boundaries and language. I mean, where would we be without our dads? And that's why I was so eager to surprise my dad with the two-stroke of his dreams. It's just a little thank you to him for thrusting me into this life of petrol, premix and good times. So my dad's love affair with dirt bikes began way back in 1982 when he was about 11 years old. He already had a healthy obsession with motorcycles thanks to my granddad, but with the likes of Evel Knievel and Eddie Kidd becoming childhood icons, my dad just couldn't wait. He had to have a dirt bike of his own. And so began our family's journey into the dirt bike world. Dad's first bike was a used 1981 Suzuki RM80, and then a few years later when racing became a bit more serious, they went and bought a new 1983 Suzuki RM80, which was Dad's first spanking new race bike. Eventually, Dad decided to take a break from riding to get married and have a family, which was very considerate of him. But then fast forward to when I was 4 years old in 1999, Dad decided to make his return to the track and bought himself a used 1998 Suzuki RM250. And then a few years later, he decided to treat himself and bought a new 2001 Suzuki RM250, which was his first spanking new adult bike. So with that history, it's safe to say that Dad enjoyed his Suzukis. In fact, Dad's very first road bike was also a Suzuki. Back in the 80s, you could hit the road on a motorcycle at 16 years old, so long as it was a 50cc. So naturally my dad opted for the dirt bike inspired Suzuki TS250X, which cost about 600 quid brand new back in the day. He modded it to oblivion with a 65cc big bore kit and a full fresco exhaust system. He loved that bike. Living in a quiet country village, the TS was his key to freedom. A freedom that only a motorcycle could provide. Back then, as soon as you turned 17, you could progress onto a full-size bike, and Dad dreamed of upgrading his TS50 for the real deal. The TS250X was the big brother of the Suzuki range at the time. It was a real dirt bike-inspired road-going two-stroke. Sounds great, right? It was every dirt biker's fantasy ride. However, at 17 years old and working in the local petrol station, he just couldn't afford one back in 1987. Suzuki eventually stopped making the TS, and so that dream of his disappeared off into the ether. As I was growing up, Dad often mentioned that TS50 and the impact it had on his life. He also often mentioned the one that got away. He's recently fallen back in love with riding and his obsession with two-strokes has only grown over the years. So when I spied him searching for TS250s on the net a few months ago, a bulb sparked in my brain. With the uncertainty in the world right now, I knew that Dad just wouldn't have the gonads to pull the trigger himself on the prime example of a TS250 he had found online. So I knew I had to do it for him. So a few weeks have passed since I saw Dad looking at that TS250 online, and as predicted, he hasn't allowed himself to indulge in fulfilling this childhood fantasy. So I'm on the way to do it for him. So I've been in contact with the seller. He's a super nice guy with a passion for bikes just like us. We've agreed a price, so I'm on the way to pick up this specimen right now. And here she is. This 1987 Suzuki TS250X is now under my possession. And soon, after over 3 decades of waiting, she'll finally be in the hands of my old man. Believe it or not, this 34-year-old machine has never been restored. This is original condition, as close to brand new as you'll ever find. She even has the original tyres, chain, sprocket and toolkit. She has only done 2,600 miles in her entire life. That's an average of 76 miles per year. She truly is an absolute time capsule. There aren't many of these things knocking about these days. I mean, back in the day, they didn't bring in many to start with, and the only other ones I can find online at the moment are Japanese imports. From what I can see, there's only 2 of these things registered for the road here in the UK, and there's certainly not another one that looks anything like this. So this is a 1987 model, which was the year that my dad turned 17 and could have legally bought and ridden a TS250 if he had the money. And one thing that I discovered whilst going through the paperwork, which is actually pretty spooky, is that this TS250 originally came from the same shop that my dad's original TS50 came from back in the day, which was Andy Lee's Suzuki in Cambridge. And what makes that even more special is that Andy Lee also owned a local motocross tractor here, Ellsworth Motor Park, which we all grew up riding. Andy was a great friend and mentor to us and so many other riders in the area. I legitimately got goosebumps when I found this out, and I know it will just floor my dad when I tell him. If the old man would have had a better paid job when he was 17 years old, he might well have walked into Andy Lee's showroom and bought this very bike. That's insane. So I've got the bike hidden away from Dad at the moment, but before I surprise him with it, it's only right and proper that I give her a little test ride. Right?
So here I am on board what will be my dad's 1987 Suzuki TS250X. This is the bike that he always dreamed of having when he was a kid, and now, was it 34, nearly 35 years later, I found this mint condition 1987 Suzuki TS250X. And when I say mint condition, she is mint. Only 2,634 miles on the clock there. I'm gonna add a sneaky few on today, a couple more miles on today in this first little joyride slash test ride of the bike. Picked it up from a lovely guy down in London, so I'm just giving it a little shakedown before I take it to the old man and surprise him with the bike of his dreams. I've never actually had the pleasure of riding a little two-smoker on the road. I've got a road bike myself, obviously. I've got a license, I'm on the road right now, but I've got a Harley Davidson, a big old tractor compared to this, and I have to say, what fun this is! You guys know I love a two-stroke. And you know I'm from a dirt bike background. So this is actually awesome to be ripping around on the roads here. I feel right at home. Blah. So yeah, like I say, I'll finish this little test ride, add a few more miles onto the clock. There's only 2,600 odd, so a couple more won't hurt, and then we'll surprise the old man with the bike, the two-stroke of his dreams.
Right then, so it's the morning of the surprise. I set up the bike in the shop, ready to surprise Dad. I've set some cameras up so we can capture his reactions. I've got him to come over to Roland's, and then Roland's going to bring us around here to Steve's, and we'll walk in it and he'll see the beauty line there at the end of the showroom. So that's the plan. Excited, let's do it. So I've had the bike hidden away for the past couple of days while I've been setting up our epic reveal. SteveLin Motorcycles is a bike shop located just across the road from our friend Roland's workshop. You might recognise Roland from his appearances in the Megalodon 700 series. Anyway, I planted the TS in Steve's showroom, and then I got Roland to ask us to come over to help him film a workshop how-to video. For those of you that don't know, my dad is typically the guy holding the camera whilst we're filming any of our YouTube videos. So that would explain why we'd have the cameras there set up and ready to roll when he arrived at Roland's workshop. We'd then find some random excuse to nip over to Steve's shop, where we'd discover the TS waiting in the showroom. Let's do this.
I told you about Roland. Who's that? Whoa.
He's become distracted.
Oh, you saw
Fellow, are you alright?
Yeah,
I told you return, didn't you?
I looked
Had a good day?
I used to have a 50 one day when I was 16, but I always wanted the 250. I never had it.
That's lovely, isn't it?
I looked at one online about, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, something like that.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's clean, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you get much fresher than that.
Yeah,
It's,
bloody hell.
Is that the thing?
Lucky man.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon then, Dad? You like that, do you?
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? It brings back some memories because, you know, when I was 16.
Hey. It's yours.
You were having a laugh.
No, it's yours.
What?
I saw you look at it, and you told Roland about it, told me about it. So I pulled the trigger on it because you didn't have the balls for it. Yours, yeah, we've all set you up.
You bastards.
Well, I've got that.
What you have to do, Phil?
Yeah.
I'll take that one off now.
I can't believe. Holy crap.
So it's the same bike you was looking at?
No way, that only done like 2,000 miles.
Yeah, 2.6.
That's a clean one.
Bloody hell. Max, you legend.
Yeah. Had to be done, didn't it?
I'm going to have to sit in it.
Yeah, roll it out here, because...
Brings back so many memories.
That fits you perfectly, Phil.
That is you.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how much fun I had with these guys.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
like
you probably don't want that on camera either, do you?
Not even mum's watching.
You're going to wheel her outside and fire up then, or what?
It's like going back in time, mate. Honestly, I mean, the two-stroke is like, you know, whatever the two-stroke is, you're going to feel good about it, aren't you? But something that brings back memories like this is just like unbelievable.
Like a lot of motorcycle-loving petrol heads, my old man tends not to wear his heart on his sleeve and doesn't show too much outward emotion. So when I saw the tears welling up in his eyes when he realised that the TS was his to take home, well, that's something I'll never forget. I mean, I think I've only seen him cry twice in my life, and one of those times was just watching the ending to The Karate Kid. And another thing I'll never forget is the size of the smile on his face after our first morning riding and filming with his long lost love.
Power band just pops in. Yeah! I can't believe what Max has done for me. It's just, I'm lost for words. What a bike.
As you can tell from the design, the styling and the tyres, the Suzuki TS250X was heavily inspired and influenced by the motocross machines of the time. She was born to hit the dirt and the green lanes beckon. But then again, it would be a crying shame to add a load of hardcore off-road miles to this one-of-a-kind, mint condition machine. What do you guys think? She was born to hit the dirt, but should we do it? Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to dedicate this to all the fathers and all the sons and all the moto families out there. We're making a big push for 200,000 subscribers, so if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, share it with your moto family, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. As always, guys, my name's Max, this is 999 Laser, and until next time, I'll see you at the track.